Greetings and welcome to the Cell Guru Show. I have got an epic show for you today. We are going big and Indian with the Lava Agni 5G as our top story. Bit of a comeback for Lava in the mid-segment. Lava's first 5G smartphone, made in India 5G smartphone that can actually compete with the best of the best. Then the HomePod Mini, a quick unboxing and 5 fun things to do with it, including we're going to show you some of the new colors. Smaller, more affordable smart speaker from Apple now in striking colors like yellow, orange, blue. We got the orange one. And all you PUBG fans, start breathing again because PUBG New State is here, sequel to the popular PUBG game. Great graphics, maps and new additions in terms of vehicles. Lots to show you. And again, something that you all were asking for, which are the best camera phones under 20,000 rupees. Good camera performance is a primary requirement nowadays. And affordable phones that can actually give you great pictures, great video. You know, there are many phones under 20,000 rupees, but these are the ones that are actually great for photography. Our top story today is the Lava Agni 5G. Now, it claims to be India's first 5G smartphone, as in, design in India, assembled in India, an Indian company. It is made in India. Plastic body, gradient finish on the back, quite nice. 6.78-inch IPS display, 90 Hz refresh rate, Gorilla Glass 3, headphone jack, micro SD card slot. But then starts the good specs. MediaTek Dimensity 810, 8 GB of RAM, quad camera setup, 5000 mAh battery, 30-watt fast charger, and the price, depending upon how you basically place your order, anything between 17,999 to 19,999. I think Lava's done a great job.
It's a big day for Make in India. Lava, the Indian smartphone brand, is aiming to set the smartphone market on fire with what it claims is the only Indian-made 5G smartphone. But is there more to the phone than just being manufactured in India, and can it deliver the one key feature every Indian user wants? Value. Let's find out in the Cell Guru review of the Lava Agni 5G. Lava is playing it safe with the design of the Agni 5G. The polycarbonate construction is finished in a simple blue color that has a mild gradient to it and looks simple yet sophisticated. The camera island sits at the top, while you'll find Lava branding along the bottom. The left side of the phone sports a fingerprint scanner that was pretty quick to unlock the device over the course of testing. The fingerprint scanner also works as the power button of the phone. The front of the phone has a 6.7-inch screen. Considering the abundance of OLED panels in the segment, the use of an LCD display is a bit disappointing, but you do get a 90 Hz refresh rate that makes the interface feel that much smoother. Additionally, there's Gorilla Glass 3 for added protection against drops and scratches. The large display makes the Lava Agni 5G feel a bit big, but the company has managed to keep the weight low at 204 grams, and it does not feel heavy even over longer periods of use. Bringing the heat is a MediaTek Dimensity 810 chipset. This 5G-capable processor is part of MediaTek's mid-range lineup and matches 2 Cortex-A76 cores with 6 A55 cores. The chipset is paired with 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage, which can be further expanded with a dedicated micro SD card slot. Performance is more than satisfactory, and everyday operations run at a silky smooth 90 Hz. Gaming isn't a hassle either, and at medium settings all games run just fine. Some high-end titles can, however, stutter with the graphics pushed to the max. Switching over to the cameras, the quad camera setup at the rear of the phone includes a 64-megapixel primary sensor that is paired with a 5-megapixel ultra-wide camera, 2-megapixel macro sensor, and an additional depth sensor. Image quality from the primary camera isn't bad, and in good lighting conditions, the phone manages to capture a fair amount of detail. The secondary ultra-wide shooter, however, is too low in resolution to be of much use. Similarly, the macro camera struggles to capture in-focus close-ups. Over on the front, the 16-megapixel selfie shooter captured well-exposed shots with detailed skin tones. The phone also has a 5000 mAh battery that easily lasts a full day of extensive use. In our testing, we regularly managed a day and a half between charges. Priced at 19,999 rupees, the Lava Agni 5G is a decent effort from the brand. It doesn't always hit the mark, and alternatives from Xiaomi, Poco and Realme give users more value. But if you want the taste of a 5G phone that claims to be entirely developed in India, the Lava Agni 5G is one spicy treat.
Let's move on now to our next story, our fun story, the HomePod Mini from Apple. Quick unboxing and 5 things you can do with it. Rubina is going to tell you all 5.
1 year into the launch of the HomePod Mini, Apple has introduced a new version of its smallest smart speaker. But wait, if you're expecting a large upgrade in technology or sound, this ain't it. The big change this time around is all new color options. Now, while the smart speaker was originally available in white and space gray, you now have the option of a vibrant orange, yellow or blue to add a dash of color to your home. So what are we waiting for? Let's unbox the HomePod Mini and look at some of the out-of-the-box use cases for Apple's small but powerful smart speaker. It's the little details that matter, and in typical Apple fashion, the box of the HomePod Mini comes color matched to the color of the speaker. In this case, as you can already see, we have the orange HomePod Mini. Slide off the top cover and sitting right up top is the colorful HomePod Mini. The orange color is bright and vibrant and should be a great way to spruce up any desk or decor. At the top, the volume button smashed the shade of the HomePod Mini, while the Apple logo at the bottom of the speaker also gets a playful variation of the orange color. But it doesn't end here. You'll notice that the fixed USB-C cable gets an accent color to match the speaker. Now, the peach color for the USB cable pops and goes beautifully with the rest of the speaker. Finally, Apple hasn't gotten rid of the power adapter just yet. Here you can see a 20-watt charging brick is included in the box to get you up and running. Setup is easy. Connect the charging cable, bring your iPhone close to the speaker, and a pop-up notification on the iPhone will help you set up the speaker in a matter of seconds. And yes, here too, the pop-up notification will match the color of the HomePod Mini. Nice touch, Apple. So here are some of the coolest things that you can do with the HomePod Mini other than playing music, of course. The tiny size and approachable price of the speaker suggests that Apple expects buyers to place HomePod Minis across their home. As such, a new feature is the ability to use the speakers as an intercom. You can easily initiate a call amongst any other or even all other HomePod Minis on your home network. Did you know that you can pair 2 HomePod Minis to create a stereo pair? Connecting the two wirelessly lets you play music with dedicated right and left channels for more definition and volume. Use the HomePod Mini to take phone calls. Hey Siri, pick up my phone. Not only is the HomePod Mini a great speaker for music, but you can also use the speaker to make phone calls. Simply say, "Hey Siri, answer the phone," and it will pick up the call from your iPhone. Hey Siri, answer my call. Milind, hi.
Hi.
You can also start calls using your voice. Find lost devices. The HomePod Mini can help you find a misplaced iPhone within your house or even a set of keys if you have an AirTag attached to them. Finally, long-term HomePod users might know this already, but if your favorite music streaming service isn't supported on the HomePod, there's still a way to get music playing on the speaker. Simply use AirPlay. Built into iPhones, iPads and even the Mac, tap the AirPlay share button, select the HomePod and you can have audio, yes, even YouTube running on the speaker. Priced at 9,999 rupees, the HomePod Mini was already a great fit for anyone with Apple's ecosystem. However, the bold new colors and innovative new feature additions make one or a few of these speakers a must-have for Apple fans.
Let's do some PUBG. PUBG New State. New game is set in 2051 on a map called Troy. New tramp system prevents you from enemies. Drone ship is a major highlight where the drone drops off requested items by the player. New electric vehicles, so EV ready is what this game is. So lots and lots of cool stuff. But at this present moment, at least in our review, we found constant bugs like server issues and stutters while playing. But the game looks really good.
For years, the Battle Royale genre has been taking over the world of gaming, and PUBG, or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds as it is fully known, was one of the biggest reasons why. PUBG set the gaming world ablaze in 2017 with millions of copies sold in early access itself, and the popularity pulled the developers to seed the FPS into mobile. But fast forward to 2021, Krafton has come up with PUBG New State to advance on the lore of PUBG and bring players new content to sift through. So, does the new state live up to the hype and justify its existence as a sequel? We find out. Whether you play PUBG, Fortnite or Call of Duty, Battle Royale games are mostly the same. Players are usually dropped onto an island of some sort and tasked with coming out the winner. In PUBG New State, this remains true, but the main thing that has changed is the location, which takes place in 2051 on a map called Troy. Despite the new name and futuristic setting, Troy looks and feels a lot like any other Battle Royale map and has a variety of empty buildings, woodsy areas and much more to explore. Now, while the map might not exactly look new, the elements are to an extent. Located on the map are the same types of cars and vehicles that were found in PUBG Mobile, albeit with a more futuristic skin applied. Two new vehicles, the Volta and Vulture, are also found in the game. The Volta is a brand new car, while the Vulture is a two-wheeler that operates similar to how the motorcycles in the PC versions of PUBG did. But where Call of Duty still has an upper hand is in the various multiplayer modes that it offers. The action is super fast-paced with not even time to draw breath, as in each mode you get infinite respawns while you and your team try to reach the score limit first. Perhaps the biggest addition to PUBG's new state in the map, however, is the tram system. The trams found in the game operate as moving safe houses, allowing players to hop into them and travel across the map freely without threat of being harmed. The trams are bulletproof and will move you to areas way faster than having to worry about getting to them on foot. Another big highlight is the drone store. Earlier, players used to loot every single item from the map itself, but now you can call for supplies from the drone shop. Players only need to collect drone credits to place an order in the shop, and a drone will deliver the requested items right to you within a couple of seconds. The drone store contains incredibly powerful items such as the green flare, which can revive downed teammates. Now we also have deployable shields in this game, something which can also be found on other Battle Royale titles like Call of Duty. But some of the things that we were not a fan of were the bugs that we seem to encounter every now and then, like server issues, matchmaking taking excessive time, stuttering while playing, and some other gameplay oriented issues. Thankfully, most of these seem fixable and something that Krafton can iron out with a few updates. As far as mobile Battle Royale games go, it is hard to really fault PUBG New State. The brand is by far one of the most popular in the world of mobile gaming and will undoubtedly be fun for those looking to dive into the genre on their phones. With that being said, PUBG New State doesn't really do too much to take itself to new heights with this release, and instead just wraps pre-existing items in new skins while dropping players on a new map. For those who like that though, then New State is a must-play for you.
Let's take a quick break right now on the show. When we come back, lots more happening on the Cell Guru Show. Let's move on now to our next story. This is an answer to all the questions you send in, and you asked, which is the best camera phone to buy under 20,000 rupees? It's a tough question because you know what happens is, to get that price point of 20,000 rupees, most companies cram in all the specs, but they compromise on the camera. So we'll show you 5 smartphones with pretty good cameras under 20,000 rupees. The Redmi Note 10 Pro Max, Moto G60, Realme 8 Pro, Poco X3 Pro, Oppo F19s. Take a look.
Cameras in smartphones have undergone a rapid transformation ever since their introduction. Thanks to dramatic advances in images and optics, we now know many smartphones come with excellent imaging capabilities and outperform point-and-shoot imaging. That said, once a core feature of flagship and premium phones, even affordable phones these days offer impressive camera performances. We take a look at some of the best camera smartphones that you can buy for under 20k. The Redmi Note 10 Pro Max is the best camera phone in the budget segment as it comes with a meaningful set of cameras and features that are pretty easy to use. The device features a 108MP primary sensor which does an excellent job of capturing great images. The results have plenty of detail and great colors, though at times a little too saturated for our liking. While the ultra-wide lens could have been better, the 5MP macro camera is one of the best on a smartphone that we've seen in a long time. As for the other features, the device comes with a lovely 120Hz Super AMOLED display, a capable chipset, and packs in a 5020 mAh battery unit that offers reliable battery life. Priced at 19,999 rupees, the Redmi Note 10 Pro Max is a value for money device without compromising on performance. The cameras of the Realme 8 Pro have been advertised as its biggest feature by the company, and we have to admit that it offers a lot of options in terms of shooting modes and filters. You get a massive 108MP primary sensor that produces good images and are surprisingly true to color, but could do with a little bit more adjustment when it comes to temperature accuracy. Apart from the camera, the device offers good performance and well-optimized UI elements. There is also an excellent 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display, but the refresh rate is limited to 60 Hz, which could be a limitation for people who prefer to play games. The Realme 8 Pro is priced at 19,999 rupees. The Moto G60 is one of the cheapest smartphones with a 108MP main camera setup. With ample daylight, the images come out really well with decent color reproduction. The 8MP ultra-wide angle camera also doubles up as a macro shooter and produces excellent images. The Moto G60 is also a perfect phone for those who don't want to deal with any bloatware or ads, as you get near stock Android 11 experience. There's also a 120Hz big 6.8-inch display with HDR10 certification and is powered by a Snapdragon 732G chipset which performs smoothly. Priced at 17,999 rupees, the Moto G60 is a great option for users wanting a stock Android experience coupled with a good set of cameras. Now, for those who need flagship-grade performance, the Poco X3 Pro is the one to go with. The Snapdragon 860 chipset is a beast, and it beats everything else in the segment. While the performance is top-notch on the device, it surprised us with its camera performance. The Poco X3 Pro comes with a quad camera setup with a 48MP Sony sensor, an 8MP ultra-wide lens, a 2MP depth sensor, and a 2MP macro lens. By default, the pictures are captured in 12MP and come out with good details, vibrant colors, and the dynamic range is also very good. The phone manages to bring ample details out of the subject along with fair color reproduction. Priced at 18,999 rupees, the Poco X3 Pro offers a 120Hz LCD display and a huge 5160 mAh battery. Oppo smartphones have generally good camera performances, and the F19s is no exception. It comes with a triple camera setup that includes a 48MP primary sensor combined with a 2MP macro shooter and a 2MP depth sensor. The primary camera captures some great shots in bright daylight, and the results are quite vibrant with good dynamic range. The AI scene recognition features detect and automatically recommend the camera settings to enhance the images according to the object and light conditions. Apart from this, the Oppo F19s comes with a full HD display, Snapdragon 662 processor, and a humongous 5000 mAh battery. Priced at 19,990, the Oppo F19s is a lightweight phone with a decent performance and a good camera.
That then was the Cell Guru show for this week. We've got some great stuff coming up next week, including the new Moto phone, Qualcomm's Tech Summit, and a whole lot more.